Hi there, James here. Hope you're having a good day and welcome to another one of my music theory lessons. Now in today's video we're going to talk about something really important, and it's chord progressions, chord sequences. Now we have covered this a little bit in some other videos, but I want to just look at some really common chord sequences today, and this is going to help you because it's going to help you to see what kind of orders songwriters and composers put them in, so you can do the same. It'll help you analyze songs that maybe you know and actually really understand what's going on. And it's really just going to hammer home a lot of this chord sequence theory and key theory and this kind of stuff. Just going to back that up really nicely. So that's why I wanted to make this video. Now, if you haven't already, do grab yourself a copy of my No Bull Music Theory for Guitarists book. It's probably the easiest way to learn about 95% of the music theory that you need to know. It keeps it really simple, really straightforward, really easy to understand, really user-friendly. It's not super advanced, so if you're looking for something on advanced jazz theory and chord substitution, you won't find that in here. But if you want to know the basics that every guitar player needs to know, then this book is exactly what you need, and a lot of players are finding this is really helping them. There's a link underneath this video, so you can click that and learn more and see what some of the people who have got this book are saying about how it's helped them. Anyway, on to today's lesson. So chord sequences. I'm going to show you some really common chord progressions. And the thing is that you might not know is when someone's writing a song, generally they're using the same kind of chord progressions, things which they know are going to work. And a lot of songs, when you don't understand that, they're quite mysterious because you kind of think, how did the composer know what order to put the chords in? Well, a lot of the time he's using tried and tested chord sequences which have been used thousands and thousands of times. And with practice, you'll be able to spot these when you see them written out. And with even more practice, you'll actually be able to hear them and recognize them. And this is a really useful musical skill. So if you haven't seen some of my other videos on keys and chord sequences, then check them out after this. But let's just have a bit of a recap on some of the material which we covered in our last couple of videos. So what we've got here is the idea of a chord family. Now a chord family is the chords that belong in a certain key. It doesn't mean we can't use any other chords in our song, but again, we're keeping it simple and straightforward here, making it really easy to see what's going on. So let's say for now that these are the chords which you would use in a certain key. And I've written the chords out here in the key of C. Key of C major, we have C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and B diminished. Now, the common practice is to number these with Roman numerals, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now. And you will have seen me do this in some of my other videos. So I'm going to label chord 1 is C, chord D minor is chord 2, E minor is chord 3, F is chord 4, G is chord 5, A minor is chord 6, and chord 7 is B diminished. We're not really going to be using this one today. It's probably the least commonly used chord in any key, but let's number it anyway as number 7. But we won't be using that one today. Now what this means is instead of just having a random set of jumbled chords and wondering what order to put them in, we can actually describe sequences and patterns of chords using these numbers, and that's what we're going to do now. You've probably heard of people talk about 1-4-5 chord sequences, or 1 or 2-5-1s, or 3-6-2-5s, or this kind of thing. Well, this is exactly what we're going to be doing now. I'm going to show you 5 or 6 common chord sequences. So before we get into that, we've got our 7 chords in our C major chord family, and we've numbered them 1 to 7, and we can do this with any key. It's just the key is what we're using here. In the book, I actually give you a table with all the chords in every key in it, and you can see that laid out there. Anyway, let's look at our first common chord sequence. So the first one we're going to look at is the 1-4-5 chord sequence. And this is always described as the most common chord sequence in pop and rock music. And to be honest, it probably is. So let's write that one out. We've got 1, 4, and 5. Millions and millions of songs use this one. So what would it be? Well, in the key of C, all we need to do is look at our 1 chord and our 4 chord and our 5 chord. So our 1 chord is C, our 4 chord is F, and our 5 chord is G. So a 1-4-5 chord sequence in the key of C would be the chords C, F, and G. Now I'm going to play each one of these so you can sort of hear them. So here we go, C, F, and G. I'm going to play them using some bar chord shapes. You could use any chord shape you like, and it might be quite a good idea to try and play along with some of these and just get used to the sort of sound of them and hear how they fit. So here we go, C, F, and G. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 4, 5. And that is our 1, 4, 5 chord sequence, the basis of so many pop and rock songs. It's amazing how many songs are written around that one. So that's our first common one. Let's look at another one. And what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in the 6th chord, which is a minor chord. So in the key of C, we've got chord 6 is A minor. And one common chord sequence which uses this is 1, 6, 4, 5. There's a lot of them, but I've just got a few I'm going to share with you today. So let's write that one out. We've got 1, 6, 4, and 5. And that would be C, A minor, F, and G. If you're a songwriter, take some of these chord sequences and see what you can do with them. You know, add some other chords in as well if you want, but you might be surprised how, what you can come up with just using some of these. So there we go, C, A minor, F, and G. That's a 1, 6, 4, 5 chord sequence. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, 6, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 6, 4, 5, very, very common. If I was going to pick out the most commonly used chords in any key, it's probably 1, 4, 5, and 6. They're really used a lot. So our next common chord sequence is kind of a variation on this. What we're going to do is switch around our 5 and our 4 chords. So we're going to go 1, 6. Instead of going 4 and 5 at the end, we're going to go 5 and 4. So this is going to be C, A minor, G, and F. Let's check out what that one's like. So 1, 6, 5, 4 in the key of C, C, A minor, G, and F. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there again, a different order of the 1, 6, 4, and 5 chords, a really common chord sequence. So that's 3 of them. Our next common chord sequence is 1, 3, 4, and 5. And this is one you hear a lot too. So we've got 1, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm sure by now you're seeing how this works and actually how simple it is once you understand a few basic things. So in the key of C, 1, 3, 4, and 5 will be 1 is C, 3 is E minor, 4 is F, and 5 is G. So our chords would be C, E minor, F, and G. So let's check that one out. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 4, and 5. That's that one. That's another common chord sequence. So far we've got 1, 4, 5. And notice in these other ones how the 1, 4, 5 chord in most of them, even if there's some other chords in there too. So 1, 4, and 5 is probably the most common one. Then we had 1, 6, 4, 5. Then we had 1, 6, 5, 4. Then we had 1, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's another one. Now let's look at our next common chord sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4. So simply going through the chords in order. So let's write that one out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and running out of space here, that would be C, D minor, E minor, and F. And as you play through each of these, now see if you can recognise some famous songs which you might have heard. I mean, I can think of a few which come from this chord sequence. So here's what this one sounds like. C is 1, D minor is 2, E minor is 3, and F is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And time for one more. Now, hopefully this aren't becoming a bit overwhelming. There are a few sequences here. But just take some of your favourites, and once you understand how a couple of them work, it's pretty easy to see how the rest of them work. So jot them down, or in the book or something like that, and that'll help them stick in your memory. Now, our last chord sequence we're going to look at today is 1, 6, 2, 5. This is really common in lots of jazz music. 1, 6, 2, 5. So let's write this one up the top here because I've kind of run out of space. So we're going to go 1, 6, 2, 5, and that would be C, A minor, D minor, and G. 1, 6, 2, 5, C, A minor, D minor, and G in the key of C. In a different key, you'd use the chords would be different. They'd still be the same numbers, but the actual chords would be different. So we've covered that in a few other videos. Let's check out the sound of our last chord sequence then. So we've got C is 1, A minor is 6, D minor is 2, G is 5. So 1, 6, D minor is 2, G is 5. So there's some really common chord sequences. Now, if you took the number of songs that built on all of those, you'd have literally millions of songs. There's a lot of really famous songs out there which use nothing more than this. So, this is really useful for coming up with your own compositions, your own songs, because you can take these tried and tested chord sequences and be creative with them. Write a great melody with them. Use a couple of nice colourful chords or some riffs or something like that. And try and bring them to life. But this is the nuts and bolts of how a lot of songs are written. So anyway, that's pretty much all for today's lesson. I hope this has helped you out. Go back if you need to and check out some of my other videos on chords and triads and keys and things. You'll find them in my music theory playlist. And also do grab a copy of my book unless you're 100% certain of all the music theory things that guitar players need, like intervals, the major scale, triads, keys, chord families, minor keys, pentatonic scales. You'll find it all in here laid out in probably the easiest way to understand. And I know because I was confused by all this stuff literally for years. So I want to write a book that made it easy to understand. So if you need a hand with that, then do check out the book. You'll find a link to that underneath the video here, and you can see some reviews and stuff. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Look out for another one of my music theory videos coming soon, and lick videos and all sorts of other stuff. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And good luck with these chord sequences. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. So take care and bye for now.